The All Smiling Faces podcast is now sponsored by Tyre Spot, the Northeast's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Always Smiling Faces podcast, live on a Monday night. 2025's very first edition.
Of course it is, yeah.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year, mate. How are you feeling?
I'm all right. I'm getting there. Yeah, been poorly over the Christmas and New Year period.
Under the weather, Mark, have you?
Yeah, hasn't been good. COVID-25 is alive.
God, was it COVID, was it?
Well, probably.
Yeah, right.
Same because we had some mic problems then before.
Aye. Well, I'll just put a little message on just to make sure that we're sounding all right, because we weren't working properly. So hopefully we're all coming through nice and clear, and we'll be able to go from there. So tonight, as you can hear, I am in the hot seat this evening because Chris is away on his holidays, and I'm joined by the two juniors today. Stephen Jr. and Derek Jr.
Correct.
Oh, God, of course we are, right?
Correct, yeah.
What's your dad called, Mark?
What's my
Dad called?
My dad's called Dennis.
Dennis?
Yes, so I'm not a junior.
No.
Fully adult me.
We had the two juniors in the house. You're the old one anyway, aren't you? So,
That's true.
Oh, correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there is only three of us, so unfortunately we can't be balanced tonight because we've got an odd number.
You mean an opinion or?
No, we just can't be balanced.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, can't be balanced. Okay.
This the Postcoglu thing.
Who knows? Just can't be balanced.
Balanced.
Oh, aye.
All fair.
Yeah.
What was going on? I know we're jumping right ahead here, but
It's very cleverly disguised that.
them comments were horrendous, weren't they, after the game? Equal playing field and the same balancing. And what you on about? I first thought that he might have meaning the sickness bug they've had and the amount of players they've got out. And you know what it is? I'd probably take that one if he says, listen, would have been great if we were able to lean on everyone. But he wouldn't give it away. Then I'm thinking, actually, he probably means that the referee's against him. He's probably saying, and you know what I mean? It was a bit like
that was the
just
thing,
terrible,
wasn't it? He wouldn't answer the question, so God knows what he was talking about. But no doubt we'll get on.
Well, I normally don't know what you're talking about, to be honest, Mark. I didn't either.
It took a minute or two there.
It did. That's because it was quite, balanced. But yes, we are back with the first 2025 podcast, and just like in 2024, we are back with another victory. So without further ado, take it away, Deka.
We won, Get in there, lads. We're the best, man.
It's just normal now, isn't it?
We're the best.
I'm still a little bit. No. I'm just nervous every game. I think, this is where it.
You get the Matties. It's that chair. I'm sure it's that chair. It's got to be that chair.
What do you mean it was only last night? No, I'm like, was it 6 in a row now? 5 in a row, 6 in a row?
It's 5 Premier League games, but 6 in a row if you include the cup.
Brentford.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's the best run of kind of form we've had over Christmas, I think, ever. Well, you can't get better than 5 wins in a row, can you? And scoring 1 million goals and all that carry on. It's totally years and years of watching them play on Boxing Day and New Year's, and at least one of them being a good hiding, normally off Tottenham or Liverpool or Man United or something like that, and to beat Man U down at their place on the 28th, the Saturday.
A week ago today.
Of course, watch it again, and what you didn't because you're skiving. But yeah, we watched it. Oh, it's Peter's Deka.
When was that, sorry?
Last Monday.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, of course.
A watch along, didn't it?
Yeah. That was a lovely pizza, that one.
Really nice. And then Tottenham, they're beating Man U and Tottenham aren't. It's not the kind of Ferguson Man United or the Conte Tottenham out like that, who's good at Tottenham. Who's the last
You've got to go a fair way back. Terry Venables.
But it's still, they're still Man United drew Liverpool yesterday. So they're capable. They've got players there who can make a difference and stuff. And with in that first half against Man United, my only kind of little thing is. Well, my only little thing, but me.
I can see one of them in them shorts.
It is cool.
The second halves of the Man United and Tottenham games, I think we're a bit tired. We've kind of let them have the ball a bit, let them kind of run the games basically, which I'm starting to think we might kind of.
Do you not think that's because we were maybe comfortable by that point?
It's tactical there. I certainly wasn't comfortable 2-1 up the way to Tottenham there. Far from it when Brennan Johnson hit the post. And
I think sometimes that the opposition change their tactics, which can swing a game a little bit, or in moments, right? And I think to reference the Man United one, a lot of their blame. I don't want to say we were amazing, right? We really were. But the lineup that he put out there and put them two in centre midfield, my goodness me, that's suicide. That I'm sorry. Whereas against Liverpool, they had a completely different midfield, etc. Blah 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 blah. The Tottenham game, I was actually talking to Emma last night.
Was he there?
He watched it. No, he was. He wasn't at the game. He just watched it at home.
No.
But he was saying that, and it was a good point. He was saying that in the second half, they stuck someone on Tonali. And he's right. Every time, because obviously Tonali was getting a lot of freedom as he normally do. Generally speaking, anyone that plays defensive midfield has the time normally to pick it up off the defence and turn and maybe start a move.
Yeah.
Certainly in the second half, they had a man on him completely, and then all of a sudden, our way of getting out was a bit harder. We didn't have as much time on the ball, and that was just something that Tottenham did, which we struggled with.
To be fair, I think the first probably good 20-30 minutes of the first half was very end to end in a highly paced game,
and it's what you would expect given the two teams. We love it. Tottenham can't do anything but that type of performance. And it, as you say, it was a million miles an hour, like a million miles an hour. But I still think we're better in them games. Like with the tempos up and both teams are going for it, I feel you see the best of us in them moments as well. So
certainly a fast start, Besty.
It was. What was it? Solanke scored. Was it 3 minutes? Something like that.
4, I think.
It was a good goal, a really good ball in by Pedro Porro. Got away from Joelinton, couldn't get close to him. Solanke kind of peeled off Botman a little bit. I still don't know whether or not I kind of think Botman should do better, but literally 3 minutes into his first game back, he's probably not expecting. It's really good header, Solanke does well. His movement's excellent. It's just a good goal. Nothing Dubravka can do about it, really. So, but then it's weird because the first half, I watched the first. I was me Littlin's football class on Saturday morning, so I watched the first 5 minutes kind of on really crappy 3G in Clegg in Heaven, and then got home in time for the second goal. So I've missed nearly all the first half, and then I was cooking for the second half. So all I saw the second half was last quarter of an hour or so, 20 minutes.
Good, great. So glad you're on this reaction then, mate.
It should be me off, thanks, instead of Chris. But when I saw it, like I was getting messages and stuff, people saying, Matty Shuttleworth saying that it's a bit rough this. And I watched the last 15-20 minutes, I say, the first half, and it was all Newcastle. It was all us. We're just camped out in their third, basically.
Well, outstanding the first half. It was like I always love to see. Sometimes when you go a goal behind, right, it can be difficult. But our reaction from going a goal behind was just amazing. I mean, we scored so fast.
Couldn't have came any quicker, could it?
Which we'll come on to and why they're kicking off. But anyway, the goal. I've seen it obviously a few times. Of course, I've seen it live, and then I watched the replay, and then watched it again today, and I just watched it again now. Because I was thinking, am I even right what I was thinking there? But
first goal.
Yeah, their goal. Yeah, no, their goal. Yeah, and like, it is a wonderful ball from old Porro, my mate.
Poirot.
He did that all afternoon as well. He was putting some unbelievable balls in.
He's got a beautiful cross on him. Like, Joelinton obviously is running back with. I forgive us. I can't remember the lad's name who has the ball at that time. He then passes it sort of just out wide. He then gives it back to Porro, and Gordon then just kind of comes into picture, and then he gets the crossover. So it's like a common, and I'm not blaming Gordon. I'm just saying it's just a combination that Gordon is trying to get back, doesn't make it back at all, and obviously the cross is amazing. And Botman, it's so tough. You've been out for what 10 years, it feels like, and then 3 minutes the guy you're marking scores. It must be awful feeling for Botman in that moment, and he found it challenging in the game. But
were you surprised to see him coming back into the team that we obviously knew there was going to be a change at the back with Shea being out suspended?
I was personally, yes, I agree, because he said in his press conference that he declared himself fit.
Yeah,
we've been down this road before with this man, like where he's declared himself fit apparently, and his legs exploded.
I wouldn't have if Shea had been fit. I don't think Botman would have played.
Oh God, no,
probably not at all on Saturday.
No. I thought you would have went with Kelly. my honest opinion. I thought you would have went McKelly, but that's not a problem. I'm so glad Botman played because it means he's fit enough to do so. But if he's declared himself fit, obviously they've done the right tests on him. Of course, he was ready to go and he went. It's just you can play in an under-21s game and you can play in perhaps 5-a-side training matches in training, but then when you're coming up against who I still think is a very good striker. I know people criticise him for the money.
He's a good form.
I think he's a great player. Great, strong, but a good player. And it's difficult. I mean, as I say, it was a fantastic ball over. He maybe just got caught. It was clever. Actually, to be fair, it was clever forward play really as well.
It was really good movement.
Yeah,
I think Solanke is great, man. I look like their front four on Saturday. Him, Kulusevski, Brennan Johnson, who's on the left. I'm getting what the other one was now. But
Bergval, Saw,
they were
in midfield, and then
you just named the front three, didn't you? There just before.
No, for them.
Oh, for them.
I remember looking at the team on Saturday, thinking there's 4, there's a 1 and 3 behind them, thinking they look really good. Them, and it was Solanke, Kulusevski, Brennan Johnson, and someone I forget who it was now, but that's still for all.
And you think you haven't got Son, you haven't got Madison at that point in the game anyway, So.
And that,
Timo Werner.
Oh, well, maybe it's 3 of them then.
That's how I forgot who you meant.
I was worried that he's going to do something, Werner, even though all the evidence. It's because I thought he was great at
That's because you're a Newcastle fan.
Yeah,
you've got the Newcastle's about you. Like you see a player that everyone takes a piss out of, but there probably is still a player in there somewhere you think is going to come out against us.
I think it's everything but the kind of end product with him. I think with Werner, but I mean when you consider they were apparently in disarray and they were using that 8th choice goalkeeper or whatever he was, and all these lads who've barely played, and Archie Gray centre half with Jed Spence, and you think, we've got to. It was a lot made of kind of the chance that we had, but Tottenham are still Tottenham. That's still, I know they had a bad season and they are Tottenham. There's still players there like Archie Gray's a good player, just on a centre half.
There is, and I'm going to be honest how I felt before the game. Like when I seen that they had the sickness bug or whatever it was, illness bug, and then I seen the lineup, I thought, I was chatting with the lads in my group chat and they were going, there's still some good players and they're very similar to what Besty's saying, but I was of the opinion of, hey man,
the front four.
We'll do these
You don't, I was quite surprised that, and again, whether it's been down to just the illness side of things, but I was really surprised that Basuma, Maddison and Son were all on the bench.
Yeah.
And as no doubt we'll come on to, they made a big difference when they came on second half.
I bet they found him because he was getting a bit of shit for being at the darts, wasn't he, Maddison?
Yeah.
He was at the dart, not for the final, but it was the semis. Yeah. He was getting a bit of shit and then he didn't play didn't start the game. And people are like, right, they'll be like, well, you're getting ill and you've been out. Fans are like, right, so. But yeah, it was quite amusing, I thought. Cheers.
Was he on a pint at the dust?
No, it looked like he had water or whatever it is, but obviously he's
not going to be that daft, is he?
He's then getting ill after going out, which, listen, he's entitled. I'm not one of these people. I mean, he wasn't allowing Maxi to go on a treadmill in a gym or something. Remember before when he was getting wrong, what's he doing in? How are they? He should be in bed or whatever. But, sorry, didn't take long, did I? Apologise. How long was
he was playing his little game, man, wasn't he? In France, that's what it was when he was meant to be injured.
But yeah, sorry, to come on our goal, which I think, obviously, we've covered their goal, right, to death. What was your thoughts on the moment from Joelinton?
I don't think that there's anything that he can possibly do because of how close he is to the ball when it's played. Bergval absolutely flicks the ball towards him, hoping to just get a little nick on it as well. Like when you kind of see it. He's played into trouble. First of all, I think it's Saw who plays the ball into him. It's an awful pass, and he's just got to try. It goes past him, and he's trying to get to it. And as Joelinton's coming in to kind of face up to the ball, he flicks it at him. But it's 2-3 yards at the most that he's away from him. Again, his arms are down in a natural position, and then it goes on from there. I fully expected the referee to give a handball.
Really?
Just because of now, I know what the laws of the game are and stuff like that, and the situation,
how the laws of the game,
how it panned out. But
interesting interpretation of some of them sometimes. But
you look at it and think, he's probably. Just because of what happens after, you probably think, he's going to give it. But when he doesn't and he allows play to go on and we score, then you just think VAR, because again, all of them players are complaining. Bergval's like, no way. And
he was certain when he was walking away going, give him that.
And I think it's because he intentionally kind of played the ball at Joelinton just because he knew he couldn't get at it.
Do you think
he just flicks his foot at it?
No, he's trying to pass to the...
He's panicked a little bit. He's played a bad pass, basically.
Yeah, well, you're right.
He's left hung and dry.
The pass to him's not great. Obviously, he has kind of got the ball, right? Because he clearly gets there first, no problem. But I do think he's just trying to toe poke it towards... There is a player on the wide area.
Yeah.
And obviously, it just whacks off. Now, I mean, fortunately for us, I mean, it was the greatest assist ever, really, for an assist of an assist. I mean, it went straight to him, which then he managed to pass it to Gordon. It's a goal.
Felt it Bruno, lovely, didn't it?
Oh, it was perfect. That couldn't have been any better. Now, I didn't think it was handball because to me he's hands down by his side. I have no idea what you can do. You chop it off if that's the case. It's not that his hands up at all. It's in a natural position. It's down by his side. What I thought was, and this is my misinterpretation of the rules, was I thought if you was a handball involved in the movement of the goal or the build up of it, it would then be chalked off. So my immediate reaction was, damn, it's probably going to be off. But then I heard it has to be.
And that was the old law.
That's the old law. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Even last season it wasn't.
Wasn't it?
We scored one at Sheffield United last season with Gordon. Remember when Henry handballed it on the line against Ireland? Gordon, it was that ball to hand, but it hits his hand, stays in. He plays it, I think, to Sean Longstaff, who scores. Might be the first goal.
So is it only the goal scorer then? Right, okay.
That's why the Bruno one was disallowed against Leicester.
Yeah. Because he scored.
Because I mean, it was hit his arm and went in. But if it hit his arm and dropped on me back heeled it in, it wouldn't have been allowed.
No.
But ironically, if it hit his arm and come off Joelinton's toe and gone in, it would have counted.
Right, okay.
It's only the goal scorer.
And it's bullshit, though. If it's handball, it's handball.
Yeah.
I didn't care if it's a goal scorer, someone sitting in the house. If it's handball, it's handball.
It's weird. Like, I've got a bit of sympathy with like the Bruno one. It's come off his hand, his elbow, even though he's been totally unaware of it and gone in. That can't be a goal. Because if it happens on the halfway line, what happened to Joelinton on Saturday? What happened with Joelinton on Saturday? Where it's been played off his hand, it's dropped to the ground, and then it's been played to someone else who scored a goal. I'm the same as you. Like, how far back do you go? Do you go back like?
Oh, I understand. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
But that's why the rule changed, because I can't remember what game it was now. But basically, there was a goal that was scored that was disallowed because the ball was handballed on the halfway line.
Yeah,
in a breakaway from them scoring too. So that's why they then changed the rules.
I laugh though because it's always Tottenham. The Champions League final was really similar. It was played off Sissoko's hand in the box in the first minute, and they give a penalty, and it's similar to the Liverpool one for us against PSG last year, where it's not a penalty, of course, but it gets given. And then of course we got a penalty down there. I think our first game at the Tottenham Stadium, or maybe the second or third one. Was it a header? And it was literally the headers. Like Wilson heads it. Eric Dyer's where Deka is, he's got his elbow up, like not trying to play the ball. He's just jumped. And it's hit the back of his elbow, dropped, and we got a 91st minute. We got a penalty, scored it. Yeah, it's just weird that it's always Spurs that it seems to. I mean, you could argue that they got the VAR thing last season. On
that Joelinton moment, right? Like, regardless of it, and obviously, I admit I was wrong in terms of my thought of the rule, but if Joelinton's hand is up and it hits his hand and then it goes to Bruno and he passes, if it's handball, it would have been handball, right? If his hand's up in the air. Yeah, well, the reason why I didn't get given is simply the truth is that it wasn't in a natural
distance to how close he was to the ball. The fact that his arms were by his side. If that happens in the box, and this was kind of my rationale, was penalty isn't given because his hands are down by his side. If he's the defender.
In Paris,
you don't expect that to be given as a penalty. And I
can understand. I can honestly understand why a fan would be frustrated at the game. Right? If that was a Newcastle fan, I get every single person that's having a go. But on reflection, you'd be like, you know what it is.
The Dan Burn one on halfway line was a little bit more.
Well, I think I put in the group. I held my breath then. Like I have to say, because
he's been a bit lucky there.
I thought he was lucky, yeah.
But he's trying to move his arms out the way, but he still made himself big before that.
He has, but where does it come off him?
It's like the top of his arms in here.
Top of his arm.
It's not handball, then, is it?
It depends on where it is exactly. Like, Joelinton one at Man United the other week was, for me, the lower kind of end of that. I think it's a bit lower than that.
Nah, he was on his shirt.
You reckon?
On his shirt.
Well,
I still held my breath. Great finish from Gordon, though.
Unbelievable.
It was a good finish.
As well, going across the goal.
It really was. And I referenced the goalkeeper for a second. I know they were saying, was it 17 years or something? Bless him, he wasn't in a game. I actually thought he had a great game. The goalkeeper,
25-year-old as well. I thought some unbelievable. It's like us playing.
I think it was eight managers that he'd.
7 or 8 managers, like that. Which in Tottenham terms isn't really that long, to be honest with you.
But 3 weeks.
Again, back in the times when we were struggling to create goals or score goals, and we were, getting results we thought we should be doing better in. I did question the pressing and the intensity, and if you go back and watch that goal where Joelinton does it, the press is immense, man. Like we're pressed so aggressively that it gets Solanke in a bit of trouble, which then that pass isn't, because we haven't given him the time, that pass to the next guy is not very good. Joelinton's pressing him, so then he whacks it off Joelinton. It's brilliant, you know. I mean, look how high up the pitch Gordon is, because when Bruno gets it, he's just sliding Gordon straight in, and the whole move doesn't happen if you're not pressing with the intensity that we do. You know, that whole thing doesn't happen. So,
and I think that was the good thing for me, was that, and it wasn't just one player that was pressing. You had a good 4 or 5 of them in there. Like Isak was out on the right, you had Gordon at the left, and then Bruno and Joe were right there, which is why we suddenly win the ball on not quite the edge of the box, but not far off it, and then bang, we're in there.
I could be wrong. I can't. I'm not going to be able to sit here and reference the goals to you, but I feel in my mind that some of the goals have scored, Villa seems to prop in mind. I feel like a lot of the goals we're getting are from exactly that moment where we're pressing and we're getting it maybe halfway into their half, if that makes sense, and then we're turning the ball over. One pass and we're in, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Ipswich, I think we got a couple from it just the other week. I think Southampton, the first goal of the season, we did that from pressing them, and then their left back,
and then we lost it. Do you know what I mean? Like I felt there was a gap in the performances where we weren't seeing that. But no, honestly, it was brilliant to strike so early, and then when we got that equaliser, I was a bit over the top. I was like, we'll win this now.
But we did go on, and as Besty, you said, we went on to really dominate that first half period and created a lot of chances. Gordon practically found himself in more or less the same position, you know, within minutes of the goal.
Yeah, and he went near post instead of far, but we can't blame him for that. I think keeper does really well with that one. I actually had the radio on driving back from Hebburn when that happened, and John Anderson was saying, the keeper makes a bit of a mess. I thought that's a good save, that.
Which one's that, sorry?
The one where Gordon goes near post. It's one that...
well, Gordon loses his balance, to be fair. It's almost identical, right, in terms of how the ball gets slipped.
Really similar in the same kind of area of the box.
If you watch it back, he just loses his balance ever so slightly, Gordon, and doesn't get the truest of connections on it. But he's a bit unlucky, like. Yeah.
But I think the keeper does well for that one. He does really well for that one, and then... You've got that Isak one that he just puts wide where Gordon's in the back post screaming at him.
Yeah. Isak can't, can he? Isak can't leave that.
No.
In my opinion.
No.
Yeah.
If I think Gordon...
You should.
I don't think he should. Well, I mean, it's like the share one at Fulham, where, you know, when he missed the kind of open goal, there's only a keeper there.
Aye.
Like, if he passed it, Isak scores. But, like, in that position, why would he pass it? You think he's going to score it.
Isak's form, the goals he scored, I always think Isak plays with a lot of ego, a lot of... Does that make sense? That, probably the wrong word that was, but you get what I'm saying. And there's no way he's... And I wouldn't want my striker leaving that, if I'm being honest.
It was only the week after he scored that one at Wolves as well. I know it was deflected, but still to hit from...
And in that moment, we were really on at them. Like they couldn't handle it, right? And it was fantastic. There was an amount of chances we had. Obviously, the Isak one you mentioned there. And I just thought... Obviously, you're always worried, though, aren't you? Because, to be fair, and I will jump forward for a second, the plan that them had in terms of Madison's, your sons of the world, let's just try and be in the game, and then we'll bring them on. And ironically, that's exactly... Because we could have went in half-time 3 or 4-1 up, and the game's done. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, so then their tactic of leaving them till later actually kind of worked, because it was 2-1, the only one goal behind, and they turned it on. But I just thought in moments, again, we're in games now we're playing, we could score 3, 4. I mean, we have been scoring 3 or 4, but we actually could score 3, 4 and 5 nearly every single game we're playing, which is just amazing. Like, it's really good.
It is, and I think where we started off a million miles an hour, when we started controlling the game, was because we slowed it down. Tonali got on the ball and he was playing it beautifully. I think him and Bruno in particular were fantastic in the middle of the park.
It looks so good, those two playing together now, where, I mean, before the ban last season, and then when he came back this season, until like just before Christmas, really, we were sitting going, which one do you drop? Do you play one? Because we were getting more out of Tonali when Bruno wasn't playing, and then if Bruno played without Tonali, kind of Longstaff would come in, and that's when the stat about being unbeaten with Longstaff for as long as we were. So no, it's lush to have them both playing well together, and with Joelinton as well. I mean, I was talking to a Sunderland fan I work with, Youngie, he'll not be watching, like, I don't name drop, like, but about what Joelinton brings is like that. And I was saying, like, if you lose Joelinton out, if you sell him, you've got to replace him with a little bit of like 3 different midfielders, because he's like the fitness, the strength, the violence. You know,
Well, Tottenham fans,
He's had a lot of stick the last couple of days, hasn't he? Not just from Tottenham fans. We've also seen fans of other clubs getting involved in the conversation and
Really?
calling him a thug and all sorts. And
he is.
I saw a ridiculous thing where some guy had saved a load of clips because he was waiting to get Newcastle's karma to come back against Joelinton.
Really?
Go out and bloody play with
Get a girlfriend or something like that, or a boyfriend or
go,
whatever.
Go and get a hobby. Not saving clips of Joelinton doing tackles or whatever.
Imagine.
I mean, I would say in a game there is a moment in every single game where he will absolutely do something mental, like, and it's wonderful. I mean, it is wonderful, but he'll just half someone or whatever. But the reason why I think people have so much of a problem with it is because there is absolutely no one in the league like him. He's a one-off. There's no one like him in the Premier League. Like, so.
And he's only what he is by accident as well.
Total accident, because even when he played up front, he wasn't aggressive.
Nah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, no.
It's weird, isn't it? Like if he put himself around like that up front, he'd probably score more goals. But he didn't really seem to be like that. But when he got into midfield, it was almost someone pissed him off, and he just started body slamming everyone. Like,
If you watch on my YouTube, you know how you get when you watch all videos, and every now and then it'll just randomly pop back into your feed. One that I've watched a few times over the past 6 months or year or whatever is the first game after the first lockdown. Sheffield United at home, Father's Day it was, 3-0 I think. And Joelinton scores that day, but you look at him and you think of him now as being like this big, like this unit. He's all we. You see him and he's just veins down his legs and all that. He's massive. He's got the tall.
He really has developed, hasn't he?
Then, oh man, I wish I was Joelinton. He's a man and a half, Joelinton. I love him, mate. Like,
He eats raw chicken for his breakfast.
He doesn't even kill it.
it is amazing.
Bites its head off.
He's eating live fowl.
Sorry, any vegans and vegetarians watching.
The beak, the lot, eating the eggs, he's eating the coop, the barbed wire fence. He's eating the whole farm.
He's unbelievable. But one of the talking points around him was, I don't know. There's a few different commentaries going around. There's the match of the day, there was the live commentary during it, and there's another feed, I think, for Premier League World. All three different commentators doing it, but all three of them that I've seen were desperate for a Newcastle player to be sent off.
Yeah.
And the first one, Burn, that we've already talked about, where should he have been sent off for 2 yellow cards? Never in a million years.
There,
I think it's just too high. The fact is, the referee didn't actually give it straight away. He let play go on. I think it's only because the move fell down that he then pulls it back.
I think it's only for straight red that they would. I think we can go into VAR stuff there, but yeah. No, I think that one. I'm not totally certain about it, but I think there's a chance. If I think if he'd been sent off, he could have gone like, well, maybe it's right, like, you know.
Very, very harsh. It's not, for me, not a deliberate handball if it does come off his arm. Yes, he's got his arms out making himself big. 100% agree with that. But for me, very, very high. Up on the sleeve of his shirt.
The very concept of Dan Burn trying to make himself bigger as well.
Well, that was one of the comments on Ref Watch this morning. Was Dan Burn was trying to make himself smaller after he put his arms out, and it's very difficult for the big lad.
25 years
Things like that. He does pull them back, doesn't he?
Because he knows shit. Because he had just been booked not long before that.
And that was 100% a booking. You've got no complaints over that one.
Yeah. It was one of them where Tino had done. I thought Tino played very well, by the way. Loads of energy down the right hand side. In that particular moment, he lost the ball quite cheaply, which then led to that break. And then Dan Burn you could see he was furious because he looked over towards that area, obviously towards Tino, going like, "Fuck! I've had to drag him back and get a yellow because you lost the ball quite cheaply." But it happens. It's football. Right?
Just seen Don Goodman's commentating on this as well. We obviously got the volume down because of copyright and whatnot. You'll be talking about us the whole 90 minutes. I don't mind Don
Goodman's on there. Is he on it?
Yeah,
it's because of Wolves, isn't it?
Straight for Wolves.
Well, true. I
don't mind Don Goodman, but he hates us.
So the next controversial moment and the next red card that the commentators wanted was Joelinton's apparent assault in the back of the neck.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen it once.
I've only seen it once
on Match of the Day, and it looks like it could be in isolation, completely removed from context of what was going on. I've not seen since.
I'm just going to. Can I just have a try and find it?
Yeah.
You could talk.
I think it looks like it could be, but again, slowed down. It always looks worse, and I've literally seen the footage they showed, and that's it. So I don't know. What do you reckon, Mark? What's your opinion? What's your take?
For me, he almost stumbles into the back of him.
Yeah.
and which is what forces he's not throwing his elbow
His arms up
in or anything like that. It's more, and I think again on Ref Watch they call it more of a coming together, and it's because of the way that he stumbles into the back of him. He's forearm almost. It's not a forearm smash or an elbow, which is what the commentators were suggesting it might have been, that he's intentionally done it.
It's not Ben Thatcher on Pedro Mendes, is it? Like that, but it's still. It doesn't look. I think it's got it on now. Like it doesn't look amazing. Like if you turn your 4 meter up, Bill.
I thought it might zoom in. I'm hoping like.
Oh, yeah, I've lined him out.
Oh, I was in bed. I was in bed, so I wanted it because I was lying down. So I've got it on thing. Yeah.
Aye. No, I think obviously we've kind of come out well in both decisions. Mind, other decisions we certainly didn't.
He's mental, though, isn't he? He just shouldn't be doing that. Like, listen, I'm not saying it's a red card. I'm not saying that, but
look at his feet, though. I think it's the stumble that forces him to fall forward.
When we all sat here and said that John Duran's was a red card against Withy a week, I think we can kind of.
Refs will be keeping an eye on that. I'm telling you now. Refs will go into games. He'll start getting. Well, he should have that reputation anyway, right? Let's be fair, right?
Oh, you will have. But no doubt about it, yeah.
Because he does not have charge into people like. So he gets. I normally put him in every week to get booked because he does always put a bet on for him, But the problem you've got though, if you tell him to calm down and take it out of his game, and you're losing so much of what he is.
Yeah.
You've just got to. End of the day, right? He never had. Well, has he ever been sent off? Has he?
I don't know.
So I'm going to say no.
He's certainly been suspended a few times.
Aye, that's an accumulation of yellows.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's been sent off. So in my opinion, sod you. There's no problems with what
he
he's
might
doing.
have been. He's definitely been suspended for obviously an accumulation.
Aye.
I don't know if he has,
So if he hasn't been sent off, he's not doing out rank to me. Carry on.
Somebody will be checking in the comments for googling whether.
Someone I don't think he has personally, but
yeah,
he plays on the edge. Let's be fair. He plays on the edge.
He does, but that's what you want from him, and that's why he is so good, and why fans of other clubs dislike him, because he's
look at that prick for these Forest centre midfield player. What's he called? Captain. Aye. I've never seen anybody foul more than him, but I bet their fans love him. I didn't like him.
He could be sent off twice against us.
That's him. I forgot his name now, but he's
something.
I can't remember someone in the comments on that.
He was awful against us.
He's always horrendous, but he's just snapping at your heels. He's always getting stuck in.
Yeah.
But their fans will want that because he breaks up play, blah, blah, blah. There's loads of reasons why.
Yeah.
But it's often when it's not your player, you didn't like him.
Every club's got him, though. Every club's got him. Again, talking to Paul at work today, look what 9's on for Sunderland. I think it's crap and he's rubbish.
He absolutely is.
But they love him there because he jumps on people, literally jumps on people's backs and stuff like that. Like, it's all part of it. And you can see why. If we had someone that was doing that and we were a semi-professional team as well, like... We probably think that was great crack as well, like, so all clubs have got.
He scored. Sorry, I shouldn't really be mentioning this.
So the stats are in.
Go on then.
Just before we do, 43 yellow cards. That's a lot of yellow cards, isn't it?
Feel like
0 reds.
There you go.
43 yellow cards in. I mean, when it was
4 seasons.
2019, we got him.
How many games?
20, 2021, 21, 22, 23, 24. Fifth season now.
Fifth season, yeah.
So it's nearly 10, and it's only halfway through this season.
Yeah.
League. Is it a league? That's 2
suspensions a season. Well, actually, he times it right, though, doesn't he? So he doesn't.
No reds.
He gets to that cut-off point.
Yeah.
No reds. But
the other guy, Yates, was the
Yates. Yates, that's him. Aye. 09 got man of the match. Scored an own goal. Give away a penalty.
On
I won some money off it, like, but
Sheffield United game, was it?
I might have been. Yeah. He scored an own goal. And then give a penalty away, which they did miss, like, was Sheffield United. And then he got player of the match, and he said, how have I getting this?
It's a terrible standard.
But it's a really bad standard. That was my reply, actually. I was like, if he's got man of the match, that's the standard, like. But anyway, sorry, apologize, move on.
Watching a bit of the last 20 minutes of that one, just because there was no else. I was like, this is awful.
Yeah,
it's really poor. Like,
well, you can see when teams, listen, not to do with Sunderland, but when teams are coming up, look at Southampton 5-0, Brentford, like every team that comes up are just getting battered because the level is just.
Forest in their 3rd season now, and they've they've got a really good manager, and they just signed everybody that could, didn't they?
Yeah, they signed a lot. Yeah, that's the thing. It takes so much money to have a chance of staying up.
It took a points deduction for them. Ironically, they just last season now that.
True, yeah.
They've got a good manager now, haven't they? But yeah, it's going that way. Then we're on the way to having a 23-team Premier League, just with 3 clubs at a time that have a year off. Because Burnley are looking good again. Leeds are going to come back up. Top 3 are the top 3 that went down, and Sunderland are 4.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The bottom 3 the bottom 3 now are the 3 that came up. Wolves have started winning games since they got rid of Lopetegui. No, Lopetegui was West Ham, wasn't it? Since they changed manager, I forget who it was now. And it's so hard now. The way the money is, it was always going to happen. But the way the parachute payments are, the money that you get in the Premier League, it's creating a completely different. It almost is like an English Super League. And it's not, obviously isn't technically a closed shop, but it's increasingly hard. You couldn't see like a team coming up. It'd be unlikely for to see like a Barnsley come up again, I think.
Yeah.
Or a team
when we come up with
Ipswich are quite an unfashionable team, really.
and that's made a total dick of us because Ipswich got promoted the season before last. So yeah, I suppose it can still happen.
But no matter who comes up, there's the issue. So maybe teams might be able to find a way up, but it's staying up in the division so difficult.
It is hard. It is. I mean, look at even the teams that have come up and done quite well. Like you see, Brighton are starting to struggle a bit now. Brentford are looking a bit. Oh, they won 5-0 the weekend, but
against
their away form was terrible. And teams do. I always think that for the most part, teams kind of find a level after a bit. Like, go to Sunderland again. It's not Sunderland podcast, but they're at the top of the Championship, and that's kind of the level they are. Probably Premier League as well. Villa went down for long, and we went down. I don't think there's any kind of real, even though it was Ashley and things were looking a bit micey. We're going to come back up.
I think it's hard though without money to reinvent yourself. So you'll come up, say Brentford, for example. Very good, by the way. I'm no problems.
They've done really well.
You know, once you get found out of the way you play, we're not having the capital to be able to spend. You can sometimes it's hard to reinvent yourself, isn't it? And buy players to change the odd thing here and there.
That's what Southampton found when they lost. When it came up, what was it, 10, 11 years ago? And they lost like Schneidlin went to Man United, Liverpool took like Lallana and everyone else. And they did well for a while, but it became too much.
Too much, huh?
And it is hard because Southampton were a Premier League club for the first 10 years, maybe a bit less than that. But I still say if you're going to sign for a Championship club now, and you've got I'm not going to mention them again because I've done loads. You've got like at the start of the season, so you don't know where the cards are going to fall. You've got a normal player coming from, let's say, France, that kind of level. You've got a choice of going to Leeds, or you've got a choice of going to
maybe
Portsmouth even. And Portsmouth aren't a bad side. You're going to Leeds because it's Leeds. Because you're going to Elland Road and it's 40,000 every week, and there's a chance if you go up, you get the noise and all that. And the history, you look back at Leeds in Champions League, and I still think that clubs generally will kind of find their level. You get some clubs that never come out of League 1 and League 2. And it's the same kind of thing where that's just what they are. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. It's sport, isn't it? But
I think we didn't touch the second goal yet, have we?
No, second half.
I apologise.
First half, second goal.
We haven't touched the second goal yet.
Not the second, yes.
Yeah. Lovely work by Jacob Murphy again, mate.
Jacob Murphy.
Well, I've always said, right, that
he's always been a favourite of mine.
He's like Rule Fox, like he's just gets them crosses in. Brilliant again, and it was almost very, very similar to the one we've just mentioned with Isak. We're saying should have left it for Gordon, but he didn't. It was almost the same in terms of the movement. But Murphy, you know, it's funny, isn't it? Because you've got the left-hand side, you've got unless Hall runs on the outside, Gordon will always come on the inside, generally speaking. Whereas on the right-hand side, because before it would be Almiron and whoever was on the left-hand side, would always be coming inside, literally. You've then got Murphy, who was just so good, really, to be fair to him, getting down the line and getting a really dangerous ball in. Like,
and he did it 2 or 3 times before we even got the second goal.
And it ironically takes a touch off the defender, and Isak reacts quick enough to steer it the right way. Like, so.
I think Isak's kind of already started his shot. His follow through, it's kind of hit him 2/3 of the way in instead of where you normally kind of, but it's enough. Like, you know, you even see him he's talking to someone at the end of it, and he's like, I've just got a touch on it.
He's anticipating the ball coming in and then getting a little tap in, isn't he?
And that's where you want him. That's where you want him. That's like the Callum Wilson. That, you know what I mean, like in and around that box. Because Isak's work, he's fabulous at coming deep. He goes out wide, etc., etc. He does so many good things. But at the end of the day, he comes alive in the box as well. Like, he's such a good striker as well. So, he's really close now when because the game's coming up as well. He's got a chance of smashing this record, like, right?
Yeah,
is that 8 in a row now?
8,
What's 7?
I think I'm sure it's 8.
Because I thought that graphic, didn't know, but I don't know if that was before the game or after.
I think it was 7 and then this is 8. I thought that's how I worked it out. Man, I could be wrong there, like, but anyway, he's on fire.
Yes, he's unbelievable, and
is he broke the Grufran's record yet?
Has he
broke the Grufran's record?
Johan Grufran, yeah.
Consecutive home games.
I don't think he quite has, hasn't he? Because he's just overtaken.
He was level with Willock and Shearer. They had 7. I think he's just leveled that one. I feel as though it is 7 for him because that's what Willock.
I think it's 7.
Yeah.
Chris has just sent a video of himself with wine in a hot tub watching him on the.
He's on a train.
It is 7.
Steve on a train because the steam of the hot tub.
I hope you drown.
So he's currently equal with Sheeran Willick. I thought it was 7.
Yeah.
7. Well, so he's got a good chance of breaking it, hasn't he, really?
Well, he won't be able to do it tomorrow because, of course, he can't play against his parent club Arsenal.
True, yeah. That's true.
So we're going to have to wait until next weekend.
Yeah,
That is a league record, though, isn't it, rather than being league and cup? So it wouldn't include Brentford at home or Bromley at the weekend.
Yeah.
So my next league game's on, though. Is it Wolves week after next? No, we've got a game next Tuesday night. That might be Wolves, actually.
Nice Wolves.
And then Bournemouth the weekend.
A lot of games coming up.
There is a thick and fast in it, you know what I mean? That's when you fight. I mean, which everything I'm going here. But like, you go back to last year, how many injuries we had, man? Like, it's always seemed to be talking about, right? That was all the time. And
It's exhausting.
whereas so far,
But I was looking at...
but either it's luck or it's what that Bunce has been doing. I don't know. Whatever it is, you know, the lads seem to be staying fit, not getting many injuries unless you're Colin Wilson, of course.
I was looking at the league table, with the little form table bit. We've won the last 5. So that's worth 15 points. Without those 15 points, I think would be just above Everton, maybe beneath them. I thought, Christ, that's a massive... And I'm thinking that feels like a long time ago. 5 games ago was Leicester. And that's 3 weeks ago. That's how, like, this time of year is always
busy, like that.
really thick with games. Like I said, the 2 cup matches and then a league game again next week. It's just, it's incessant. Like.
When you're in good form, you love the games coming thick and fast because everyone's, you know, it's just when you're playing poorly, which we're not, but when you are, every game's like a chore, right? And for the players as well, because you don't know where the next win's coming from. But when you are winning games, you cannot wait for the next one because confidence is there, the momentum's there. So hopefully we can carry it through. But it's been I mean, God, if you're not happy now and you're not content now, then you need to find another sport then, because it ain't going to get any better. Like this particular run has just been as good as you could ever wish for. Like, it's been that good.
It always is over Christmas, isn't it? You've got the darts on and the football on. What more could you possibly want?
Strictly as well.
The darts was
I said sport. But no, second half we go into that, and as we've kind of seen in a number of games in recent weeks, you always expect the opposition, particularly away from home as well, to come out and really, you know, try and get themselves and claw themselves back into the game. And there was certainly a step up in the effort and performance from Spurs in that second half, as you would kind of expect.
I agree with everything you said. I mean,
thanks, and that's all we'll do for tonight. Thanks for watching.
No, it's true though. Like, I've seen a lot of people saying like, it's really scrappy and blah blah blah. Like, but hey, man, you cannot play at Premier League level every game and just dominate the game for 90 minutes. Like, and that's what I feel as if people say that for the Man United game.
Can you just remember that one?
Well,
what a save.
Yeah, well, true, right. But like the Man United game, for example, I remember going back to that one going, you were amazing for the first 40 minutes. Second half wasn't very good though. And like, that's football, right? But what I liked about it is you've seen another side of that we can win a game. Yes, the first half, as I've mentioned, abundance of chances, look like we're going to score every time we go forward. But some teams, well, I'm going to mention Tottenham then, right? So you look at Tottenham are very gung-ho and this and that, but the league goals, well, hey, the league goals for fun, right?
Yeah.
That you're not saying the same thing about us, so that's what I love about us is we've got 2 sides to a game. Yes, we're very, very good going forward, and we look like we're going to score all the time, but we're also pretty damn good at the back, and we'll work so hard as a team that we can win different ways. In the second half, we had to show a different way, right, to get through the game, because we're way up against it. There's no question about it. Especially when they made them changes, you know, they made some incredible changes.
Imagine if they were playing on a balanced and even field.
Exactly, yeah, if it was balanced, yeah.
Well, that's the thing with this, right? Having not seen most of the first half, I didn't see the Dan Burn thing firsthand, pardon the expression. I didn't see the Joelinton alleged elbow. So I'm going into the last 20 minutes of the game-ish, having not really been paying attention to most of it. And I'm watching every decision go
so glad you're here, Besty.
But I'm watching when I'm watching that bit.
But he can tell you everything about the Sunderland game.
I'm watching every decision the referee makes go against us.
Yeah.
Every decision. There was one where Joelinton got hold down in the corner, nothing. I think they got a free kick for it, actually. The one where Botman gets booked when Madison kind of just stops running and falls over.
I couldn't believe. I honestly couldn't believe that one.
I'm assuming Botman got booked for arguing with the referee, because I can't be for the alleged indiscretion with regards to foul. Loads of 50-50s every time they hit the
Well, there was the assault on Dubravka as well.
Yes, that's not been mentioned much either.
Actually, no, you're right.
I mean, he's trying to win the ball, but
That was
Looked like getting sent off a couple of years ago. Well, 10 years ago now, maybe.
I don't. He's not meaning to hurt him at all.
No, he's
but my God, he's high.
He's,
right?
yeah.
It's a yellow card.
He's
right?
clattered him.
Yeah,
I agree
he's
with
clattered him. It's a yellow card.
Yeah.
No, there's no two ways about it. Totally forgotten about. But every decision was going their way in it towards the end. And it might be that thing when Deka was saying earlier about referees will be watching Joelinton going, we're going to keep that in mind when we're looking at what he's doing next. I wouldn't be surprised if referees thought maybe I should have sent, maybe I need better do that in the second half. I'll start giving Tottenham a bit more.
That's handball. They get swayed. I mean, remember back the day with John Joe Shelby, man, the whole ground used to seem to take an in-breath, hold their breath when he went in for a challenge, and because sometimes your name comes before you. It happened with Barton, which so it should. But yeah, so Joelinton obviously is getting that. But I agree that maybe it's a home fans as well. It's an away game, so when the crowd start getting up for it. Maybe not actually. Whether that storm, I thought there was. I tell you which one I thought was in. Madison cut inside and bent one
from the corner.
Oh, that was close. I thought it was left, didn't he?
I really did. What I also want to mention, and I missed this. Sorry. So I wanted to comment on Dubravka's distribution and his confidence on the ball. I thought it was magnificent again on the weekend. And the reason why I mention it is I can't recall him being like that. Ever, really.
He was always, that's one of the things that Rafa, that's why we got him, was I thought he was a good ball player.
Well, maybe, but I didn't think he was as good as what I'm seeing recently. I definitely think he's worked on his game at getting the ball and some of the passes he played out towards Hall, which is beautiful passes, just to keep that momentum going, you know what I mean? And sometimes he was just like it was almost like five at the back in a way, like in terms of possession, I mean, I thought Dubravka doesn't get enough credit for that, because he was taking the ball. Sometimes they were pressing with so much they were going back to him, and he was taking it in some difficult moments, but he was able to take one touch and sprint out wide. I thought he was brilliant.
I think he's been excellent this run.
He really has. And the thing that I criticised him for previously when he came in is I always felt we were 10 yards deeper as a team.
Yeah, I agree.
That's gone. So whatever he's either learned or been told or whatever it is, his starting position is better. I mean, in our defence is higher up the field, etc., etc. So huge credit of him. Unfortunately, he'll be gone after Tuesday.
I was just going to say that for me, because that was always the thing, was his positioning and not being on his toe ready for balls coming in behind. And our defence is playing very, very high. There was moments in that game where Dan Burns on the edge of the centre circle in their half, and Botman's on the edge of the box when we're in attack, and you would never have seen that, because and I mean, we know Botman's not the fastest, we know Burn isn't, so that potentially leaves you open in some games when you're playing against players that are particularly fast to exploit that. I think that maybe Spurs with the team that they picked, they didn't pose that much of a danger to do that. But I'm still not sure on Dubravka, and the only reason I say it,
hasn't got much time. He's gone tomorrow, so
he hasn't.
He's only got one more game.
We've got a few questions on that as well. But in all honesty, he hasn't had to do a great deal over the last few games because of how well the defence is doing. Yes, he's pulling off saves when he's called on, but they're very few and far between because of how well the midfield and defence are playing in front of him.
But that's often seen as a weakness in goalkeepers who don't have much to do. And then, like David James, his concentration was always called into question because he would.
And Ramsdale's the current prime example, isn't he?
Getting distracted by pigeons and stuff. Like Dubravka, for me, since he's had this run since Pope went out 5-6 weeks, not quite as long as that may be, I struggle to think of anything he's done wrong, really. Yeah. He's been excellent. And I thought he was, before Pope came in, I remember we had the conversation when we signed Pope, thinking, do we need another? What got Nick Pope for? And Pope is he's a better goalkeeper than Martin Dubravka. I don't think there's any kind of doubt about that. I think his form was really patchy last season, and he's always been prone to a bit of a, Pope does as well sometimes, a bit of a mistake. But I'm buzzing for him. Like I said, I like him. A lot of people talk about him wanting to go to Man U when we signed Pope, and how he's this, that, and that. He's just a bloke with a job. He wanted to go and play football. In Man U, he's thinking, I'm getting European campaign out of this. We were unlucky in that Pope got sent off against Liverpool, so he got recalled for the league, but couldn't play in the League Cup final because against Man U. One of those things. But no, I'm quite. I'm glad that if tomorrow is his last game, and it looks likely that it will be, I think he's been great for the most part. Like, I'm dead happy. Thank you, Martin. He's one of my favourites. I like Martin Dubravka. I think he's.
I mean, remember his debut, man. God, it's the greatest goalkeeper of all time.
Man,
It's the greatest debut I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He was absolutely unbelievable.
He was excellent.
And he's been unbelievable. I honestly had no problems with him. And the only problem was the run where, unfortunately, he was in for Port. And there was a difference there. There was a difference
last season.
But why I'm so impressed with this one, and I get what you're saying. I do take it on board as well. That some people might point to the opposition. Some people say, well, he's not being tested as much. All I'm saying is his distribution has been brilliant. He's been calm when we've put him in difficult situations, and when he's been called upon to make a save, he's done it. And you can't ask any more than that. Like,
his hands have been really good for the most part as well. Like, you don't see him spill the ball.
He pulled off a good save. I know they hit the post straight after it, but I can't remember what it was. It was a shot from range, like, but it was. I think Burn was in his way, and he bent it round Burn, and he saved it again. And he had the Man United game. He pulled off some great saves in that one to keep. It was 2-0, but it gets to 2-1. Who knows? So no, like, he's been fantastic, and now. I don't know. I don't want to reference any questions, sorry, because actually I'll stop because you might want to talk about that later.
No, I mean, it's a perfect time to dive into them when we are talking about Dubravka. But I echo everything that you guys are saying. That if it is, and it does look extremely likely that he's away to Saudi, I think he's had a fantastic kind of spell this season, and it's a good way to go out on a bit of a high of the run of games that he's been in.
Like a victory lap on it, almost like a kind of testimonial.
Yeah, it's
certainly much nicer than when he went.
Because had he have gone, even at the end of last season, he probably would have gone with a bit. No, well, his standards weren't as good as they had been and stuff, because he did have some difficult moments. Coming in from Pope, but this time around he's done excellent. As you say, his distribution is great when he's been called on. He's been excellent. He's had a very good run of games. I do just worry though that, because the comments that kind of Howe have said is that Pope's not quite there yet. So if we're going to let him go pretty much immediately, does that mean Trafford comes? Because Trafford's the name that doesn't seem to want to go away at the moment, as in being linked again. That's a done deal. He's going to come in. Do we expect him to go straight into the starting lineup until?
Well, we've got the cup match.
Or does Vlak go in nets?
I think if it comes to pass that tomorrow's Dubravka's last game, he goes to Saudi this week, even if Trafford gets announced this week, if we do sign him, I think Vlak plays on Saturday, the weekend regardless, against Bromley. I think he trusts him enough against League 2 side to do a job. And then we've got the two matches. I mean, it's still, like I say, the next Tuesday night, Wolves or Bournemouth, I forget which one it is now, but it's either one of those two at home. If Trafford does come in, it's not a massive amount of time. I suppose goalkeepers might not take quite as long to bed in as a Botman or a
maybe
Bruno.
a bit lucky as the position, perhaps. I get what you're saying. But what I think my biggest worry, well, a few things. So there was a quote, was it the day he said, where it was more business than football or something?
Business decisions getting made rather than football decisions. I think there's something along.
Yeah. Now that in isolation is a worry, because that would mean we're selling Dubravka because we've got a PSR issue, which we're all know about. Oh bloody hell! And this offer's too good to refuse, and then want him now. So if we say no at this moment, they ain't coming back. And then can we ever get rid of him? If that makes sense. So they're making this decision now because they have to. But as a football decision, God, you haven't even got a keeper, technically, right? If Pope's not ready, right? Now, also,
Luke's just said, do you not fancy Ruddy for the weekend?
Oh, God, no. Bloody hell, no.
He played a couple in pre-season, didn't he?
I was funny because Emma was talking about the Man United game. He went down to the Man United game. He said obviously they were in the ground early enough, and he said they were watching the warm up. He says Ruddy didn't save a single shot in the warm up. He was talking 30 shots at you here when they're just lining up. He said he didn't get close to any of them.
Does Emma not fancy Emma?
Emma's class.
He was a really good keeper. Great game.
I tell you, when I went to America in October, and we went Daz will be watching. Love you, mate. And he played a five-a-side team in America, so we went to Atlanta, and I was going to play by there. I had too much to drink. Eamon was on the beer all day, right? And then he needed a keeper, so he jumped in net. He was unbelievable, man.
Eamon's the best.
Unbelievable.
For a bloke who's only like 5 foot. He's the best, like, Sunday League, not professional keeper I've ever seen.
Unbelievable. Absolutely
really good goalkeeper, Eamon, like.
Unreal. But yes, so he was saying Ruddy basically just couldn't even move. Like, so Ruddy might do a job against Bromley, like, fair enough, but
is he better than a traffic cone?
Well, I also want to mention someone, Trafford Cone. Gillespie was in the away end. We done it on the Man United game. I mean, this
Hey,
guy's
the fans of the club.
He's getting 20 grand a week or whatever.
Job in football, that.
And he's just travelling with the away fans. The guy is living the dream.
I'm going to try and get myself in good nick this year.
So what does he? So Ruddy obviously puts the cones out, right? That's what I think. So what does Gillespie actually do?
He likes having 4 keepers, doesn't he? How?
Yes,
Or training.
That's yeah.
I'm assuming he
20
must,
grand for training.
So they can play
like two on
two, yeah,
two kind of short. So you've got
two small teams.
Pope,
games.
Dubravka, Ruddy, Vlack, and Gillespie's. Well, Gillespie's number 4 now, isn't he? But or is he number 3? Is he ahead of Ruddy? Do you think? No.
He drives the bus to away games now. But anyway,
He can have.
Nah, Ruddy's ahead of Gillespie, isn't he?
anyway.
I love it, mate. I'm dead happy for him. I've got no problem with. It's my dream, so I couldn't begrudge him being there doing that. Like, it's class.
Right.
Scott Carson's made a career of it.
Right?
You see him when he had to get up and get warmed up at the weekend. He was
That's
buzzing.
insulting Scott Carson. but we do need to sign a goalkeeper. That is proven right now. My hope is then, as I've just banged on about the quote that Howe said, I'm hoping that from what we've discussed and stuff and heard, we think Trafford's going to be the one, right? That's what it seems.
That's
right?
what all the
It's been a couple
noises
of windows
isn't it?
worth of kind of talk about that.
So
now, yeah.
I would surely say, Howe's going to say, listen, okay, I get the business decision that you're going to have to get rid of him because the team's willing to pay however much or decent money, but they want him now. However, guys, I have to have a goalkeeper in return, right? And if it's Trafford, then fair enough. But
Do you think Burnley's going to let him go that easily?
I'd say not because they're in a title race themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But player power, again, opportunity with money, given how much we're going to pay. I don't know. I guess.
Well,
I guess
I was looking earlier today. Roger in the WhatsApp group said, "Is he cup tied? If we got, to Wembley or whatever, and Pope's not fit, and he isn't. He didn't play. And Burnley played actually Wolves in the League Cup.
Carabao.
In the Carabao Cup, yeah, Wolves. The new Wolves beaten 2-0, I think, but he didn't play. So I'm wondering if that was with an eye on, because it's been talked about for so long that when he'd be coming to Newcastle, are we going from? I wonder
Interested if he plays the weekend in the FA Cup as well. Then, if it's not,
well, if it's,
I personally don't think that honestly, I don't think I would have any decision in it, me.
yeah,
My opinion of that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't think they'd look at that. I think Pope would be back and that would be fine for the final. If we made the final, by the way, I'll say. Or even the return semi, sorry.
the was like a month away, isn't it?
Yeah, because there's a big gap, isn't there? Yeah. But listen, great that he can, to be fair. I'd rather him be able to than not, of course.
Well, I think it's belt and braces after, like I said, Dubravka was cup tied, the last one.
Yeah.
Pope was injured, so we played carries.
Because I wanted to mention Pope, way back there. Obviously, everyone's saying, a few weeks for Pope. Yeah, hey, Pope could get injured again, right?
Yeah.
Like, it could happen again. Whatever's happened to Pope doesn't mean necessarily he's going to come back and be fine. He might still be feeling it. He might get injured again. So you cannot have, you need another goalkeeper. It's as simple as that. So,
What is it? Is it a thigh one this time?
Oh, God.
He's made 3 incredible saves,
Hasn't he? He was terrible for us. I was straight on that one, but yeah.
Even then, again, he's on.
Now, what I have been watching and lately, and for most of the footage I've been watching is all about Trafford on the ball. And goodness me, some of I suppose Overton looked like Messi on YouTube, but
Yeah.
he is incredible. What with his feet like Trafford,
Yeah.
Unreal. Like, I'm telling you, unreal. The amount of moves he's starting, he's coming up and almost being like a back three at times, playing the ball, passing, etc. Now, there's been question marks about him from crosses and shot stopping and stuff. Now, believe it or not, that's your day job. Like, you're going to be good in goal, right?
Yeah.
But certainly from the style of play that we're trying to do, seeing from Dubravka, as you can see, he is the future, isn't he, as a goalkeeper, right, in terms of being able to play out from the back, etc., etc.
When we look at what, like Edison and Alisson in Liverpool and Man City,
Yeah.
that's exactly, they are ball playing goalkeepers, Jordan Pickford,
absolutely.
he's what he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's good with his feet. He kicks the ball really well, like, so.
And I still say, you see it when Pope's on the field. I love Pope, absolutely.
I do. I love Nick Pope.
But you know the limitations in that side of his game. Whereas with Trafford, you might actually be a bit the opposite way. He might not be as good as a shot stopper, possibly. Again, I don't want to. What's the word?
That's where I'm. The old-fashioned bit in me is that, like you say, it's the day job, and it's that for me is the important bit. Is keeping the ball out the back of the net.
Well, Man United signed on Honor for £1 billion, and they got him because he was a ball playing, and he's got Chris back hands, right? So you know, but he does come with a very strong reputation, and I have to trust in. I have to trust in Howe, in the people that, because this rumour has been going for a while. Trafford, right? So Howe clearly rates this kid, and if you rate him, then I'm all for it. Like, you know.
There's still a lot of doubts in the comments around the transfer window, and quite a few in there don't think we'll actually get anybody through the door in any position in January. It's going to be a difficult window, not just for us.
I'd be very surprised if nobody at all comes in. I think we've kind of had a couple of windows. I mean, I know we've got a few in the summer, not a few, 2 or 3. I think there'll be someone coming in just to kind of, if they are pushing for Europe, and they've got to push for Europe now because we've said all season, we've said a long time.
Top 4, mate.
If they don't finish in the top 4, about 5 gets you Champions League this year. By the looks of things. Then how long do you keep Isak, Bruno, Tonali, etc. happy?
Yeah, right.
Just by not being in Europe, So I think they've got to push for it. I think you've got to push for it. You've probably got to look to bring somebody in.
I don't think they will unless they sell someone. So let's just say Dubravka didn't leave tomorrow. Let's just say that didn't happen right after the game, whatever. If nobody leaves the club, we don't get anyone in. That's my honest thought.
I honestly think I think Dubravka probably, all the noise seems to be like we said earlier, tomorrow's his last game. I think Miggy, the talk about Miggy over the past week or so makes us think that he's probably, I wouldn't be surprised if Trippier went,
Well, I've heard 4 players, Longstaff, Trippier, Almiron and Dubravka.
And because of how amortization, whatever, works, you get £20 million for, let's say, would you get 30 for all those 4? I'll say 20. That's hot. Well, no, it might be. I've not done the maths in my head yet.
Well, you're probably going to get. Well, let's discuss that.
You get more than for Longstaff. You might get 20 for Longstaff, but he would be the.
Who's the team rumoured for him?
I don't know.
Everton.
Right, okay.
Middlesbrough.
He'd be
and some
very good.
Somebody else.
He would be a brilliant.
And the reason that one's getting a lot of mention is because it's pure profit with him being an academy player.
It is, but listen, what I'll also say is I understand why people are wanting to sell players, but you have to buy, right? Because all of a sudden, if you get rid of Longstaff, and I know everyone is happy with the midfield and stuff, but a few injuries or a suspension here and there, Longstaff we know can come in and do a very good job for his keeper, right?
Longstaff and Willock are the next 2, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, Miley might.
Well, we're going to find out tomorrow because obviously Bruno's suspended, so
Isak can't play.
Somebody's going to have to come in.
Yeah.
So you're looking at Longstaff, Willock, and Miley's. The only 3 that you've got in there.
Good to see Miley playing a little bit again, mind. I know he didn't play at the weekend, but it's good to see him just getting off the bench. He looks good. He looks fit. He looks big. I tell you what, he moves his arm.
Natural position.
Joelinton stuff, eh?
Natural position.
That could be like.
He moves his handball.
I think that's handball. Like,
give it a Chris Wood.
But if you get rid of them 4 players, you might see some movement. Like if you get rid of them 4, definitely a goalkeeper would come in. Well, obviously if you lose Trippier, which I think I love him, but
how far away is Kraft from being fit again? He's been out for ages.
A good while. He was broken collarbone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the problem, isn't it? Again, everyone's obsessed with, well, I've got to sell. But if you sell Trippier and something happens to Tino, what are you going to do? Like, so what do you do? Do you put Murphy back there? It's mental, right? Like,
and that's why we had the issue just with Cher being injured and the fact that we've got, it was either going to be Kelly because Botman, potentially wasn't fit. You just expected him as a shoe-in. I'd be very surprised if he started tomorrow night as well.
Who?
Botman.
There's
2 games
not a chance.
In 3 days.
Not a chance. I think
4 days.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're probably going to put Kelly there, probably.
You might bring him off the bench, or maybe same for even with Bromley on Saturday. Do you bother playing him in that one?
No,
it's that thing where you want to get minutes.
I would you want to give him some minutes in that game.
You want to get him playing first team football because it's a different thing altogether to playing with the under 21s.
He didn't look like he'd been out for nigh on a full year.
No,
at the weekend. Obviously, it took him a little while to grow into the game. Conceding that goal early wouldn't have helped. But
I thought he had some tough moments. I thought he struggled a bit in certain moments on the ball, but that's fine. Like, it's going to happen. I knew he wasn't going to turn up and be, a prime Drago. Like, I mean, I knew he was going to be difficult.
And he was playing the wrong side for him as well.
Yeah, well, 2 left footers and centre. It's not easy. Like, but I do think Kelly will play tomorrow. Which, like that has its issues as well, but. We have to deal with that. Like, we have to get on with it. But there's no way he'll play Botman. Not in 2 games in 4 days or whatever. Like, not a chance. Like, and if you do, you're risking serious problems. Like,
he went down a couple. He came off, didn't he? In the end, with a bit of a
cramp.
Which I expected to happen. So so there's going to be a bit of movement tomorrow night. Obviously, with the team, and it's a short week and a short period. Since the last game and suspensions, etc., etc. So, but yeah, I just think going back to the window, I just think I would love to see us strengthen, but I get the scenario that the club is in. That I think it's probably worse than we even perhaps even thinking. I really, if I'm honest with you,
at which point, because the window where we brought Bruno, Byrne, Trippier, Target in was 3 years ago now.
3 years, so
does that mean that all those go off the record? So now surely we must be, if no one comes in,
you've got Tonali, you've got Isak. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's
Tonali would have been.
Yeah, it's money spent, but it's you can't lose more than £105 million over a certain period of time, or something like that.
3 seasons.
And there's still money coming in. I mean, that's just transfer output. The money that comes in the club, sponsorship, Premier League money, and all that. Like, Tonali wouldn't amount for. There wouldn't be that big a hole. That's surely after this window.
That's 140 million. Those three was 60 odd each for.
But even then, that's still
Tonali and Isak. 40 odd for Gordon.
I still don't think that's particularly. That surely is
whole,
or a lot of that's covered by
30 odd
incomings. You've got Anderson going out for 20. I know that was offset by Vlak.
That was the season before, though.
Anderson. Oh no, but it's rolling. It's a rolling 3 year period, though, isn't it? So I'll after this window, I'm quite hopeful that there might be a little bit more.
I do recall. I don't know if it was Craig Hope or I can't remember. Someone kind of said that obviously the summer was what it was. It was you didn't get gay, etc., etc.
And that'll have been big. That'll have been your Trippier. It'll be that first St. Dan Byrne.
That's what you said.
Yeah. But that's dropped off. But now you've got Tino, Hall. Botman will probably
Botman was
be in there
summer after. He was the same summer as the summer before.
Bonds.
I mean, imagine if they had a saying Bonds.
There straight away. I mean, God, I got to.
The only player we've sold was Maxi for what was it, 30, 25?
Wasn't even that, was it?
So
under 25.
That's the thing. We don't sell great when I think that's
and that's why we're in the position
we are. Imagine if we had signed Gay. Goodness me, man! If we had signed him,
we're looking at signing him for 75 million. Whatever.
Well, that was reported, but it's come out since that they never went that high. Like apparently it was like 50-50, which is still a lot of money, mate, as well. Mm-hmm. But if you had signed him, well, you might never sign anyone again. Like, I mean, because they're in such a mess as they are now. But I think I think maybe the summer might be a lot more attractive for. I don't know. Adidas money. I don't know what. That's surely going to help.
But when you start adding up those figures of what we've signed in the last two, it
spent a lot, mate. We spent a lot.
And I think that's what is then playing on people's minds of will we spend the money in January?
I think there'll be something to spend. I think there'll be something going out.
I mean, the club's never going to. I was never going to sit there and go, "Why? I can't wait for the window. It's going to be great." Like he's always going to be very, it's really, really tough. The situations, blah 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 blah. He's always going to play it down because unfortunately we've been tarnished with that brush when the owners came in. That it's Newcastle prices, right? It's St. Newcastle tax because we had that much money. So I get the tactics in that. But PSR is a huge. Actually, remember that time when someone in the comments said I didn't believe in it, remember someone in the comments said, "Why does Deka not believe in PSR and plays it down?" Like I'm fully aware that it's horrendous. The drill, and I know the situation we're in absolutely, and that's why I think in January, unless we move people out, I just can't see anyone coming in because a lot of people's thought wasn't it? Well, if the Gay money was there in the summer, surely it's still there now. But there's rumours that that they're really trying to do a tight ship. Then hopefully in the summer, then with people going out. See if you get rid of people in January, then you got rid of some more in the summer. Then you may have a clean slate, but certainly a little bit more.
That's it. It takes one nicely to a question from Wilson, who says, "Is PSR/FFP the biggest threat to Howe's NUFC legacy? If we could spend like Chelsea City did, I reckon we'd have a trophy in the very near future, as he's been unreal for us."
Absolutely, I do. Yeah,
totally agree. Yeah.
I think it's completely hamstrung with for the past 18 months now. We could say really a year at least. I think it's really, really knackered with, and not just us. We look at Villa; they had to sell to buy for the Champions League campaign, and if Forest go and qualify for the Champions League this year and they try and kind of overstretch a little bit, then they'll find themselves in bother. It's shite. It's absolutely rubbish, and it's not. It was kind of painted as being something that was going to safeguard clubs, and like Bury have gone to the wall since it came in. There was someone else. Bolton came really, really close. It's not protecting anybody. It's shit.
Well, it's protecting some.
Well, yes, it is.
It's protecting the wrong ones, so that's the
6 clubs in particular who's protected very handsomely indeed. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, there was a stat that I thought I put it in the group about how many since Howe's come in, like where his performance has taken over that period of time or something like that. It was, I don't know. Oh man, it was unreal. It was like basically third. Basically,
was it? We were sitting 4th in the league or something like that.
Since the takeover to now, like. It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
And for me, it just, it again takes us back to, a month, 2 months ago, and the amount of people that were questioning Eddie Howe and his reign and whether he should still be manager. And, we'd sat here for weeks on end discussing that. Form is temporary.
It was Chris.
Chris was 100% in the heady out camp, wasn't he? That's why he's not here. He kind of bear to praise him.
Yeah,
he's too busy in his hot tub with his how out banner.
Do you know what else I love about him as well? I really do. Is like you look at Ange, right? And listen, I've got a lot of time for Ange, by the way, right? And
I like him as well.
Only the week before he did. I think he got interviewed on Sky there, and he was saying like, "Are you not entertained?" Like, because he kept getting asked the same questions. Like, "Yeah, man. Like, this is what I am. I know them in the studio are going to be kicking off, but I am who I am." And I love the honesty. However,
I think he's lost the plot. He's 100% done a clop for me.
Maybe.
Exactly who I had in mind.
But that on Saturday, his reaction as you started the show, and me and Bessie had no idea what you were talking about. Like that comment and the way he's went around his interview there. You go back to when Howe was struggling with injury, suspensions, PSG away, that handball in the last second. How he handled all that and the way he holds himself in press conferences. He's just an unbelievable bloke, right? Like, he never seems to kick off or moan or complain. I mean, Christ, look at Arteta, man. Every 5 minutes he's kicking off again at the end about that penalty. How would just never do that? Like, now, some people might be the opposite and want someone that is more
bit more animated,
yeah. But for me, that's what I've absolutely adore that for Howe, like that he's so level-headed in them moments. And don't get us wrong, he's probably gone off it privately, but in that moment,
but that's what you want. You want your manager who is backing your team, positive, is looking for what is working well in the face of adversity, but behind the scenes is banging heads together when it's needed.
Well, that's been said over the past week or so, that after the Brentford game, he had everyone up.
And rightfully so. We were awful.
Some lads would have been told off there. Like, it's not. He's not calling it the office and saying, you really need to do a bit more.
Well, apparently he took every single player in a one-to-one session into his office to go through their individual performances.
Yeah, showed them like videotaping that.
You're going into that with your tail between your legs, like if you're a player, aren't you?
Oh,
the two things that he had done, I was reading in the Athletic, that was obviously one of them. These one-to-one sessions with the team after the Brentford game, which is which is outstanding. I mean, but I say outstanding, it's what you would expect, surely, right? Like, I used to question the likes of Pardew and Bruce sometimes when. All the time, Bruce, but like you would see performances and you would then come say the following week and watch the performance like, God, it was just like it was half time. Like, have they learned anything on the training pitch? Whereas obviously he's noticed something where I need to get to the nitty gritty here. The other thing was, have you seen what he's doing in training where he's positioning while watching training? Have you seen that one?
I think that was a Photoshop job.
No, I seen another one that had said that he went up there for a little bit because he wanted to see a different view or something. Because I seen two. One, someone said it was photoshopped, but I'm sure I seen Craig Hope retweet one saying that he had moved. And that's what I was going to ask you. Was that true or not?
What's this? I've not seen this.
Well, there's a picture like up a height. Is
so
it
there's a little scaffolding tower at the training ground.
Right.
But apparently they use that to film the training sessions so that they can then watch it back and see how the position that they're in, how they're playing and stuff like that. But there was an image going around of how standing up on the scaffold.
Now, I did read it was Photoshop and he was never on there. That's what I read. And I was like, oh, well, fair enough. But then I thought I read it twice from a more reliable source. And maybe it wasn't garlic sauce, so it wasn't that reliable. But I
like the thought, meaning like a cherry picker, just get up there and all that.
So if I'm wrong, then that's fine. But
to be fair, you can understand why you would do it. Like, was it Allardyce that used to spend the first half in the stand watching the game, because you get a better view of the pit. I mean, I've sat down on the touchline before. I think it's awful.
Yeah,
like sitting down there, you can't see anything really other than what's right in front of you.
Get that to work, like.
Well, that's why often when if I go to the game, see you sitting at level 7, right? I appreciate the stairs kill you, but when you don't half see the tactics of the two teams. It's amazing to watch, because you're seeing everything at play, right? But but things like that, these 1-to-1s and these video clips of your errors or whatever you're doing wrong individually, it sets the tone that like nobody's safe. Does that make sense? There's no favoritism. There's no because you would have had Bruno in there, you would have had Isak in there. Do you know what I mean? Like going through these moments, and it sends such a great message to the team that I can't hide here. Like I've got to sort of do my job, which of course everyone should do, right? But no, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And whatever it is that's done, look at the run we've went on since. So.
Exactly, and we've got an unbelievable. Steve Stato Passmore has sent us in a bit of a Deka stat. Hopefully this one's true, unlike Deka stats. That according to Steve's records, Bromley is Howe's 150th game in charge of Newcastle. And if he beats Arsenal and Bromley, he'll have a 50% win record
50%?
as Newcastle United manager.
So he won 75 of them then, if we beat those two.
Some run that, isn't it?
Unbelievable, yeah.
It's excellent, and that's
Unbelievable.
the 50% thing. I think that's you look at managers in the Premier League, and there's not a great deal who have more than that. Ferguson's one, Klopp will be, Guardiola, but like that's your benchmark. If you're winning half your games, then you're doing all right. Like
and I mean we're not talking 10 games though. We're talking
it's a pretty good sample size.
Exactly, yeah. So it's so impressive, It really is, and but that's why we're even in the. And again, I said this when the run was going badly, right, and we weren't playing well, we weren't creating chances, we weren't scoring goals. I kept saying they put the banner on that, right, as a joke. It wasn't that I ever wanted Howe at all. But
unlike Chris.
Well, true, I was just criticising what I'm viewing, what I'm seeing with my own eyes, right? Like it was just something needs to change, etc., etc. But since he's come in, like, you would have never have thought just how good we are. And I appreciate we've had money, and you've mentioned all the people we've signed, but like, God, it's even way above what I thought he could do, like. And that's no offence to Howe, or no disrespect to Howe, sorry. He's just been that good. Yeah. Like, it's just that good.
To finished 4th in the first full season, 7th was seen as a disappointment last season.
And with all the issues with that season, all the challenges, it was remarkable, really.
Steve adds to the stat with there's only Keegan, the first time round,
the best,
and Chris Hughton, who have a better record.
Oh, Kevin, lad.
And Hughton was the championship for the most part.
I'm still bitter about the way he was.
Who, Chris Hughton?
Chris Hughton was got rid of.
Awful.
Yeah.
Very sad, that. But, well, King Kev, my dad, he's the best. He's the best. Always will be the best.
Is that just...
But mind you, Howe is...
He doesn't go that far into it, but still, I no doubt he'll clarify.
I'll see when it comes.
But I think that's probably all games, considering he's including 2 cup games in that stat in Bromley and Arsenal.
Yeah, no, I mean, is that just Premier League?
Aye, we're talking...
Keegan, Chris Hughton were obviously both post. Well, Keegan was he was 92 when he was in the Premier League era, but before we were there.
Yeah, 2 seasons before.
But then, like, it's not like... I'm trying to think who else could have been close to that, because the thing is, with managers back in the day, they managed for
Bobby Robson?
100 years.
Bobby Robson, well...
Bobby wouldn't be far off it, like...
Yeah, I would.
Well, when the top 4 days, you know what I mean, when that was an amazing season, that one.
Even though we finished... He got sacked after we finished 4th or 5th. So we were still a really good...
And when we came in, we were second bottom.
2001 through to 4.
And we obviously did very well to stay in the division. So we had obviously clearly won a lot of games at that point.
Yeah, that's all competitive games.
All competitive.
Robbie, is it pre-1992 as well, or is it just since 92 hours, Steve? I need more than this.
So does it include Keegan's championship games? It'll include them.
I'm saying, yeah, Keegan's championship, but also managers before Keegan.
Ah, right, I'm with you.
Oh, right.
So, like...
God, nice.
Because, I mean, I'm saying...
Like Joe Harvey.
Like Joe Harvey would be... You guess fairly close, but even then, we were that good in the league at that point with Joe Harvey. Consistently. As we have been under Howe and we're under Keegan and...
There's not many people as old as you to remember,
there's not, but
pre those dates.
There's not. I don't barely remember those dates anyway.
Well, football at me started when Keegan was around. So.
I think we're Newcastle fan, eh?
Yeah, true, mate, yeah.
So we are hurtling very closely. We've gone over. Chris would be raging if he was here. It's
Mark.
All these good things. This is what happens when you're having fun.
Anthony Gordon penalty thing yet?
He missed a good chance, didn't he, Gordon? Did you see that when it
felt to him after the save?
He should do better there, I think. Like, it comes to like the back post and he blazes it over. That was first half. Yes, it was. No, second, sorry.
At least Isak didn't have another 1-to-1 to miss.
Right, get off his back. He's amazing. He's unbelievable.
Do you think it was a penalty? Kulusevski on Gordon?
No, I don't. I don't know. No, there's obviously a coming together, but I don't think there's enough in it. There's no particular. I think he knows what he's doing. I will say that. I think he knows. It's kind of wacky here, mate. But I don't think there's enough of a movement for them to give it a penalty.
I think it is. I think he moves. I think he moves towards him to foul him.
The way I probably don't think it is, but I get Gordon does unbelievably well to stop yourself and come back inside on it, and that's 100% what does him. And then I think it probably is a bit of an accidental clash with the shoulder.
No, I don't think it is.
But then, had that have been his leg coming through and accidentally catching Gordon's leg, that's a penalty all day. And that's where the inconsistent bit for me comes from, because had it have not been his shoulder that's connected, and it's 100% connected. You see, it's busted his nose, it's broken his nose.
His nose or his face.
I think it's the where he's had the contact that is deemed him not to think it's a foul.
So do you think the same with the Van Dijk one the other week where he's done Gordon? Very similar, very, very similar. But Van Dijk's was more sneaky. I felt like the ball was dead, and he's
came behind him after the ball's kind of gone, hasn't he? That was
similar.
a penalty.
I think it was Kulusevski. He's moved on. Oh, that's a penalty for me. Like, absolutely.
I think if it's not his shoulder, he goes through him. There's leg contact because he's trying to play the ball, something like that, trying to tackle him. I think they give a penalty.
Why does it matter?
But that's because his leg's out, though. He's as you just say, he's trying to play the ball. His shoulder's not. He's
lifted the arm towards his face. Like it's a penalty all day for me.
But it is. I mean, where do you expect him to go? Because he's there. He just stops.
If he just bumps into him, fair enough. But he doesn't just bump into him. Kulusevski moves the arm towards his head. So I honestly don't understand the logic of that.
I think it's just how the cleverness and speed of Gordon to cut back inside that does it.
I think them have just thought it's completely accidental, like the handball. Like it's just he hasn't meant to hit.
But and that's why I say, had it have been his leg, it doesn't matter whether it would have been an accident. They would have gave a penalty.
I agree with that.
It's not.
So that's where
evidently
it's. It's 50-50, isn't it?
I'm not disagreeing.
Depends how it gets. I think if the referee gives it on the field, VR doesn't get involved. I think they let it go.
Good point,
and allow it. 100%. Like he'd proper bust his nose open. You would have thought, seeing that, they would have thought, hold on, there is something definitely.
But he could have still be in that nose with a total accident. But he does have. He moves towards him. For me, it's certainly a penalty. I think at the top, talking about balance and level playing fields.
Good point.
Tottenham were very fortunate there.
Good point, mate.
So let's end this evening on a little bit of a lighter note. Our good friend Josh, as ever, has sent us in a question. So Josh says, something a bit different tonight for your question, lads. What is your go-to Chinese takeaway order?
Oh,
he's just had one for his belated birthday tea, as it was his 30th yesterday.
Happy birthday
yesterday, Josh. Beef and black bean sauce, for those wondering.
Healthy one as well.
Also, does Deka have ketchup? We know the answer to this one. Does Deka have ketchup on his Chinese? Let's answer that one first, you filthy animal.
Well, yes, and a lot of it.
Awful.
But not all the time, though. Not all the time. So I'm going to be honest here. So I normally get a beef and black bean sauce or a chicken and black bean sauce if I'm being good, because it's really good on Slimming World and it's fine. But you feel like you're cheating, you know what I mean? Because it's Chinese, right? But the one I normally get from certainly where I live is I get a house curry special, and that's the one where I put loads of tomato sauce on it.
Rotten.
And it does look horrific. But it tastes
honestly, if only we had a picture to show you now, because we've had to see this a number of times.
If I search in the GallowgateShots,
he has his curry with his rice and chips underneath his curry, and then he just takes the whole bottle of Heinz, and it's just zigzagged across the entire plate.
It really is
awful. I mean, I've got to admit, if I have a Chinese curry, I do like to apply a bit of malt vinegar to it.
I found one.
I love vinegar on me curry.
I'm going to put... We're back in a minute.
You show the camera, right?
Yeah, we go.
Yeah, shift it away.
So
vinegar on it. Hang on a second.
I love a bit of vinegar on a Chinese curry.
Really?
Here we go. And look at that. Oh dear me! I'm gonna get rid of this comment so people can see. That is. I mean, that is a lot of tomato sauce, isn't it?
So what do you get, Mark? What's your curry order?
I'm not a creature of
Sorry,
habit,
a
like,
Chinese
to be
order.
fair. I'm very much order in the moment.
Yeah.
So I don't have a something that I'll get every time. I have a selection of things that I'll get depending on what I fancy. So love a chicken curry, fried rice and chips.
Fair play, it's good. It's a classic.
Chicken chow mein, chips and gravy. Love it.
I don't get it with gravy.
Didn't get it with gravy.
Or
Oh, I
chips for the most
Gravy,
part.
love a gravy. Chinese gravy is the best. I like Peking,
I know you do. Yeah.
deep fried Peking, crispy either beef or chicken in Peking sauce is nice with a bit of fried rice.
I've never tried that one.
Salt and pepper chicken,
Oh,
chips
lovely.
and curry sauce.
Salt and pepper prawns is one of those we get every
Even
time.
egg foo young. I'm a big fan of chicken egg foo young.
On a normally on birthdays we used
I
to,
love Chinese. Chinese the best. Favourite takeaway without
because
doubt.
there's like 9 who were with the parents-in-laws, brother-in-law, mum, all the rest of it. We used to go out for meals all the time when it was someone's birthday, but you're talking, it was
Expensive Chinese.
and there's 9 of us, so there's going to be so anyway, we started just having Chinese in the house and we'll all pour a tenner in each and then get the world, right? And we're pretty much everything he said there, we pretty much get all of that. Really, everything you said, we'll get that one.
It's the
we'll get
best,
that one.
isn't it?
I like I forgot the name of it now. The sticky pork balls. Is it pork balls?
Yeah,
in that sauce, like the
Sweet and sour.
sweet and sour. Oh, that's lovely. That as well. I love that as well. Sorry, Besty, what's yours?
I'm chow mein. I love a chow mein. I do often lament that you don't, or certainly the ones I get, never get water chestnuts in the chow mein anymore. I love a water
I
chestnut.
think that's more of a chop suey
No, it was
accompaniment.
When I was a kid, it was in chow mein.
Aye.
Or when I was a kid, it would just be the curry house.
Is that because you couldn't get many vegetables during the war?
It was the rationing. It was. And then, I'll normally, me and Amy will share a salt and chili prawns. I like a curry. The one near mine, it's right at the top of my street, actually, it's lush. They do a nice, what's the one with peanut butter? Is it
Sauté.
Saturday is a nice one again. They do a honey chili,
It's more Malaysian
which is
slash
delicious.
Thai. A lot of peanut in it.
Who's this?
I don't know.
Sitting here with fucking Greg Wallace. He enjoys Peking as well.
He definitely does.
Peking as well.
You know where you go, like if you spend enough, you get like old crackers,
Prawn
Hide
crackers,
in.
bit of
Prawn
spring
crackers.
rolls.
Aye, just like hide in type.
She got one on Saturday.
Munchy box there, good enough.
I've never tried one of them yet. Amy
Aye.
got one. Amy was out on Saturday, so she came back. Do you want a Chinese Besty? I'm like, nah, I've had me dinner. So I said, get us a bit of prawn toast.
Oh, prawn toast.
Oh,
Proper
yeah.
underrated.
Yeah.
With a bit of sweet and sour or Cantonese to dip it in.
It's nice that I did.
Lovely.
I think, and I know this probably isn't a.
I'm starving now.
That's just about.
I've already had me tea. I want a Chinese.
I know this probably technically isn't a Chinese kind of. It probably comes from somewhere else. I'm sure Mark's going to correct us here. But the duck with the wraps.
Peking duck.
Oh, Peking duck, yeah.
Is that Peking duck? Is it?
Ah, yeah.
Is that what that's called? With
Like,
the hoisin wraps.
You'll get the
The hoisin wraps. Is
Chinese.
half a duck,
that called Peking?
shredded,
was
get a
it?
bit of cucumber, spring onion.
Spring onions.
All you can eat.
Plum
Well,
sauce.
it used to. The all can eat in town. Them used to just have a massive area, and
Aye.
you would just to go
City
down.
takeaway on the corner of Stow Street, they've always got the duck and pork hanging up in the
Is that
window and
called
that.
Peking duck? I've always just called it. Like I've never asked it.
It's just deep fried duck, Peking duck.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Beautiful, and that's where I'm going after this.
You can try it.
I don't,
You can-
last night I go to Goal Line on Chai
Oh, yeah,
Dean
yeah,
Road's
Goal Line's a nice line.
unreal. Aye. But I had loads of pizzas last night and that, like, so you be careful.
There's a surprise.
There was a-
4.
When I lived,
Not on myself, like, but you know.
when I lived in Jarrow, there was one called
And a kebab.
just in the town centre called the Happy Garden, which is like, you know where the big Morrison's car park is?
Aye, aye.
Jarrow that well. It's just like the far side of that. Then I've got a mate, he's a red and white, he lives in Dubai now, he's a magazine editor, Cliffy, and he says, oh, you put a thing on Facebook, who knows where to get a check? I said, mate, can I have you gone in Jarrow's Lush? He said, I'm not going there. And he's linked an article where someone got caught getting sucked off in the Happy Garden. He said, I'm not going there if that kind of thing goes on. And that's not why I would go there. I hate
Oh, that's where I'm going now.
but check your sauce. If that's
Aye,
where you
check
go,
your sauce,
If that's
aye.
where you go. If the soy tastes
Maybe that's what them gloopy bits in the chicken and sweet corn soup are.
the creamy bits. That was just MSG.
You can't beat MSG. Like it's like it's mad
It's not actually bad for you, is it? It's just a flavour enhancer.
flavour enhancer. Yeah,
Makes your taste bud think that the food's nice and actually is.
it works.
Yeah.
Absolutely works.
Before we go, predictions for the morning, quick one, just go.
That was going to be the last
Okay.
question. Yes. So
Go on, Mark.
I think it's going to be a difficult evening.
Yes, I do too.
Always is going down there. Obviously, we've got suspensions. Loan players not allowed to play. Isak. So
Do you hope he goes there, Deka?
What?
he probably is. He'd probably be happy if he signed for Arsenal and his real team, wouldn't he?
No chance.
Peel the badge off here and it'll be the old cannon.
No, I don't mind them. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes it's hard when Arteta's the way he is. But I think it's pretty awful the way they're going on, to be honest with you. Someone put a great comment about Carragher, because Carragher was kicking off about Real Madrid.
Yes, I see
about
that,
Trent. And then Carragher interviewed Isak and he went, if I had £150 million, I'd want you to come to us. On his interview with Isak, I'm like, hang on a second here. Like, no, listen, you've got to, I've said this how many times I've got to say it, you've got to keep him at all costs. Like, he's that good.
I don't think anyone else with PSR, I don't see who pays the money that we'll want for it.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
I think that's why he doesn't go anywhere, because I think there's probably only a couple of clubs in the world that can afford him. One of them signed Mbappe in the summer. So.
It's a funny one, because PSR we're obviously hated for good reason, but also really it's possibly the reason why we'll keep him, because no one can afford him. So it's but I think in terms of tomorrow, I just think it'll be interesting without Bruno, because I just think he's so important to me, so it'll be interesting to see. Sorry, did you see a score? Sorry, did you say?
I'm hoping that we can come away with a draw.
A draw, yeah.
A 1-1 I'd be very happy with.
But what do you think?
I think we could come away with a 2-1 defeat, realistically.
I think that's a good result. I think we might lose 2 or 3-0.
Really? Yeah. I don't think they've got that many goals in them, to be honest. Saka's injured again. Jesus flat as a deceiver at times. I don't think they've got that much.
Yeah.
I would say defensively they are
good, yeah. Midfield, Rice, Odegaard, unbelievable.
Yeah, there's no question about it. They're a very good side.
Martinelli's on his, another good player on the left.
I'm personally thinking 1-1-2-1.
I think it might be a hard watch tomorrow night. I think we could get it. And I obviously don't hope it happens, but I think 3-1, 2-0 maybe. I think
Joelinton's going to be a big important player for us tomorrow.
Could be, yeah.
Keep winning in midfield. As I say, it's going to be interesting to see who comes in and plays alongside him and Tonali. Could be a good show for Willock against his old club. But then, go safety with Longstaff.
I see my record down there as well, by the way.
It's not the best, is it?
Won that one when Carroll scored in the white kit.
After the Sunderland game, that game after. Yeah.
And then before that, the last time we won was that, was it a Friday night or Monday night when Shearer robbed a...
Oh, it's football, I think, wasn't it?
That was what we wanted at the Emirates.
God, remember that one in Napoli? It was about 10-9. Remember that one? Well, we scored then.
It was
God, it was insane.
Between Christmas and New Year.
I always remember Podgy run to the sideline and he went to the defence. No more. Meaning, don't concede anymore. I think it was only 5 or something that was mental, that game.
7-4.
Maybe. It might be 7-4, actually.
I'm sure at one point we were 4-3 down. I'm thinking, we've got a chance here.
So when Walcott scored a hat-trick.
Walcott got at least 2, I think,
Yeah, I think 1-1-2-1. I think if we can get away from there with only being 1 goal down, happy days. Happy days. Get them back at home. We know what the job is that needs.
That's
to be
the
done.
important bit for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Stay within touch and distance. Get them back here.
Yeah. I think
it's only half time.
I'm not too. I'm really. I think at home, the second leg, I think there's a chance we'll beat them. But
so
I think
if you think if it's 2 or 3-0, do you think it's done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think we'll draw or get a narrow win at St James's, but I don't think it'll be enough. I'll obviously hope.
Difficult. It is going to be difficult, but that's why they're riding high at the top of the table. They've got this far in the.
They're not that far in the bus. Points wise, they're only 4 or 5 points.
We are the form team. We are the best. We can go there and cause. We can go and cause.
Go there with a bit of hope.
Do you remember a few weeks ago when there was something like 5 points between 3rd and 13th?
Yeah.
And we were saying that'll stretch out before long. You see the table now? We are 5th, 1 point behind Chelsea, 5 points behind Arsenal. We are 13th Man United, 12 points ahead of them.
12 points.
So it has, the stretch has happened.
Yeah.
And we're at where we need to be. We're fine. But
I've just said they were the best and we're the form team, and I've said we're going to get beat 2-1 or draw. But listen, we'll cause them trouble. We know we can do it. We can cause them trouble. I just think it's a big ask, right? As I agree, it's only going to be half time after this game. Let's just a draw or just in touch and distance, get them back at our place and see what happens.
We're a better team now than we were last season down there. We got beat 4-1.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be anything like that again, but I do think that I fear. a little bit, especially with Bruno out, with Shea and probably Botman out.
I think the suspensions hurt were, of course, to do as well. And I also think them need to win a trophy as well. Does that make sense? I mean, who doesn't need to win a trophy? It's a ridiculous comment, some people might think, but they haven't won much on Arteta, right? And that's a question that gets asked them a lot. They've been very good in the league. The cup forms now have been terrible.
I've won anything under him.
FA Cup, the first season he came in. I think it was the first season. And of course, we all know how much we need to win, right? So I just feel that is that added bit of bite for them, I think, as well, that they'll know that we've got to get some silverware, like so. But listen, it's just amazing to be in a semi-final at the end of the day anyway, so.
It's amazing, but it's what we do now these days. It's our second League Cup semi-final in 3 years. We've got the quarters last year, FA Cup last year.
We're giving it a go, which is all
we always used to say when we were shit, a cup run.
Love a cup run, yeah.
And we're getting them. We're getting cup runs, but we're getting like we're fifth in the league as well. Like we're
the best.
We're really good.
That's it. So we'll see what happens. It is live on Sky and I think also ITV tomorrow. So
ITV,
no doubt everybody will be ITVX on the old ITV player.
I've seen that they're doing that VAR thing more as well. The League Cup semi-finals where the referee, you know how in the American NFL,
I've got to announce them and stuff. Yeah,
so the referee will tell you why if anything goes to the camera.
Yeah. They've started doing that on the commentators though, haven't they? They've started giving the full explanation now.
Have they?
Yeah, and also the in-stadium announcers.
Do you think they'd be nervous at the first in the refs doing that? Like having to speak?
No,
I thought it was handball.
Yeah.
Well, they're not...
Because they're not used to doing it, right?
No, and it's...
You've never been told to do it.
They're having to justify their decisions now, whereas they don't, and that's always been a bit of a...
I bet they're not
have something that we've had as fans of like, well, we never know why they've made that decision because they've never had to justify it. They never have to come out and explain it. It's only recently that it started, obviously, through the VR stuff with what's his chops, the
Howard Webb.
PGM.
To be fair to Webb, he's doing well, I think, in terms of that regard. He tries to do new. I mean, me and him love NFL, and to us, it's what you know it's going to happen. So it's not even it's just an expected part of the game, right? That, every 5 minutes is chatting to you. So, but yeah, sorry, Mark. Let's go.
No, so yes, it's live, and Daryl has been very cheeky in the comments, reminding everybody that there is a match preview available, so you can go and watch that. No doubt, Daryl has been given a full explanation of the 4 officials that will be at the game on Daryl's ref wash.
He got it wrong.
Ref wash? Is he watching them now? Is he?
Ref wash and ref watch.
The referee's changed as well.
Sack him off. Already has. Scotty sacked him. Happy days. Sorry about that, Daryl. It's nice knowing you.
What's he done?
But he's been sacked for getting incorrect information.
Well, I
don't know how you've lasted this long, the amount of incorrect information you've given.
It should be me, yeah.
But no, thank you for watching along. If you have enjoyed this evening's chat and crack, then give us a little thumbs up.
My shorts aren't that low.
Yeah, they definitely are that short. Everybody can see it. So yes, give us a little like. Invite your friends, tell your parents, anybody else you're out there. If your parents are dead, tell somebody else. Mine, I can say that, it's fine. Not all, my dad isn't. So that I hope.
Dennis, he's got you done.
He wasn't last week anyway. But no, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you do want to see more of this, then you can become a member as well for only
$3.99, $2.99.
Second one.
$2.99.
$2.99.
What does that get you, Mark?
That gets you access to unlimited content on the GallowgateShots network.
It can't be unlimited.
Unlimited. You can watch everything
what you are doing to make it unlimited.
And exclusive content as well.
Content.
There's loads of stuff on there. So give that a watch. Thank you for joining us.
Give it a wash.
Give it a wash and a watch. Definitely worth watching.
Give that a wash, Mark. I'm sick of hearing that.
You want to give it a wash. We've gone, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
We've gone. No, thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure. We shall see you next week.
Thank you for coming, Bess.
Wash your hands. Good night.
Don't worry about you.